Today's video is one that I know a lot of us need because I know we all experience those days where we just feel completely unmotivated. For me, it's not always as simple as just get up and go. When I'm unmotivated, I can feel numb, dissociation, bored, to the point of just disconnecting from everything around me. So, hey everyone, I'm Jeanette, and this channel is all about healing and self-love and sobriety, living your best life and navigating it with all its ups and downs. So if that sounds like something you're interested, subscribe and stick around. I used to feel so guilty when I was unmotivated, and I used to think that it meant I was broken or lazy, but motivation doesn't always come naturally, and you're not broken and you're not just lazy, especially if you're healing, neurodivergent, or even if you're just overwhelmed by life, which everyone gets sometimes. After I got sober, I had to relearn how to function without numbing myself, and I had to ask myself what actually helps me to move forward. So that's what this video is all about. And usually motivation comes after you take the smallest step, and sometimes it doesn't come at all, and that's also okay too. So this video is a collection of tools I reach for when I'm in a funk, and not every single one works every single time, and that's all right, but each one has helped me find momentum in one way or another when I really need it. So number one is to stretch, even if it's just a little bit. Stretching has been my go-to when I feel off because it's so easy and you can do it literally anywhere, anytime, without any assistance. Sometimes I'll just do a quick stretch, and other times I'll take out my yoga mat and do a full stretch. And what's powerful about this is that it connects me back to my body, especially when I'm dissociating. And one of my 2025 goals is to be able to do a full split, so every time I stretch, it gets me a little bit closer to doing that. Step number two is to just step outside, or just open a window if you don't want to step outside. The act of just physically changing my environment can change my mindset so much. Even if it's just stepping outside onto my balcony for a breath of fresh air, or opening a window, or going for a walk, or I really love sitting on my stoop and journaling. It really just shifts my internal state of mind, and my dog loves when I go outside and play with him, so it's helping the both of us. The sun, the breeze, the quiet, the rain, whatever it is, it helps break that mental fog. And after I stopped smoking weed, I feel like I connect with nature on such a different level. The next thing I love to do when I'm feeling unmotivated is to just play with my pet. And I have a lot of pets. You can see one of my guinea pig cages right behind me over here. They are truly one of the biggest parts of my support system. And sometimes when I feel unmotivated, I don't need to fix anything. I just need love, and cuddling with my pets is some of the best ways I can receive love. And even if I'm not like cuddling with them, just sitting on the floor and watching them eat and play makes me so happy. They remind me that I'm needed and that I matter, and that I don't have to earn love through productivity. I have to like kind of earn it by feeding them, honestly. And when I don't feel like taking care of myself, I remind myself that I need to take care of them, and I can't take care of them if I'm not taking care of myself, and that will usually motivate me to get going a little bit. Step number four is to just go for a walk. And now walking out the door and actually starting the walk can be really hard. Like today, I could totally go for a walk and it won't take more than 20 minutes. But I know the push to just start is going to be really hard. Once I'm walking, especially if I bring my dog, I feel so much better and so much clearer. And my dog and I both have a step goal, so that helps us get closer to it every single day. Recently, when I was on a walk/jog, I did a mile in 15 minutes, which is getting me closer to being able to do a 12-minute mile again. And I am so happy about that. And that walk started with zero motivation. I did not want to go at all, but then I broke my new record and it motivated me to keep going. So that reminded me that action creates motivation. So the first step, no matter how small, is where momentum is going to begin. So that ties me into my next step, which is to just do the easiest thing on my to-do list, because like I said, the tiniest step forward is still a step forward. So getting done the easiest thing on my to-do list still gets something off my to-do list. So when I'm feeling paralyzed, I look and I ask myself, what is the easiest thing I can do right now? And I'll do that. And so one night recently, I was out and I knew I had to shower when I got home, and I knew that I wasn't gonna want to shower when I got home, and I was honestly dreading it, even though I knew that I would feel so much better after the fact. So for the first time ever, I actually set a reminder in my phone to take a shower. And by the time that reminder went off, I was already out of the shower. And that tiny little thing triggered a productive streak that lasted for hours. And even if I had just showered and went to bed, that still would have been okay. But doing this simple, easiest thing of putting take a shower on a reminder catalysted me into doing so much more. Because doing something, even if it's just one thing, builds belief in myself. And it proves to my brain that I'm capable and I'm powerful. And that's powerful. Another really powerful thing that is really underrated is to just make a phone call or talk it out. Sometimes when I'm unmotivated and I don't want to do anything and I find myself just sitting there or walking around my apartment in circles, I will call someone, whether it be a friend or a family member I want to catch up with, and just talk about my day, talk about their day, talk about how I'm feeling, and just say the words out loud of whatever is on our minds. It doesn't have to be deep or emotional, but I just need that little bit of external connection to push me to do more. And then usually while I'm walking around and talking, I'll see things that need to get done and I'll just start doing them. Where if I weren't on the phone talking to someone, I probably wouldn't be doing those things. Or sometimes I'll just have my mom or my sister or someone sit in my apartment with me and keep me company while I get done what I need to get done. It helps a lot. Now number 7 is to put on a song that I love. Some of my go-tos is like anything by Set It Off gets me going. Music is energy. When I feel drained or uninspired, I'll put on something upbeat or something that I know is gonna make me wanna move or triggers me emotionally, something inspiring. And I'll just listen to the music and feel it, and then I'll usually want to just get up and get going. Some days I sing it, some days I'll dance, and other days I just kind of let the music move me. But either way, music has a way of reaching me that the rest of the world can't. And so similarly to before, where I would call someone, is I will literally talk to ChatGPT kind of like all day every day. And that might sound silly, but I use ChatGPT every single day. When I'm lost in indecision or overwhelmed by all of my options or feeling stuck, I'll type out into ChatGPT how I'm feeling and get guidance, and it's honestly your #1 supporter and cheerleader. And it helps me organize my thoughts and reminds me of my why. So let me know if you want a separate video of how I use ChatGPT to improve my life, because it has improved my life so much. Yesterday, I was actually in a really deep funk and I did not want to do anything, and I just talked to ChatGPT about it, and it really gave me clarity and reminded me that not every day has to be perfect. I will literally give it like pictures of my to-do list or tell it how I'm feeling. I'll tell it my dreams, and yeah, sometimes you just need someone or something to listen to you and reflect and guide you. The next step is to break it down into a detailed to-do list. So like instead of writing clean my apartment, I'll write make bed, put laundry away, wipe down the mirrors. Small little tasks, because when everything feels like too much, brain dumping all the little tasks helps me see so much clearer. And this method also takes away the pressure of having to do it right now. But for me personally, just writing it down that it needs to get done sets the plan in motion so that I don't have to start immediately, but it puts a reminder in my brain that it will get done. And now this next one is hard for me sometimes, and honestly a lot of the times, and it's to just relax. Really, it's okay to just relax. And I use ChatGPT to remind myself of that all the time because I'm really bad at relaxing. And so this is the hardest one for me, for sure. I have such a hyperactive brain and rest does not come naturally to me. But I've learned that rest is productive. And sometimes in ChatGPT, when I'm resting, I will kind of reiterate stuff like that and have it say it back to me, so it is getting engraved into my brain. Because you're not meant to be on all of the time. And so to help me rest more, I put some rest-based tasks on my 2025 bingo card that I made for myself. So I can trick myself, well, not tricking myself, but so resting is still checking something off my to-do list, and to remind myself that watching a show or whatever isn't slacking. And if I forget to rest, which I do all the time, my friend Mike will yell at me. Shout out to Mike. But it's true, sometimes not doing anything is the most healing thing you could do for your motivation and just in general. And that leads me into my next tip, which is super important, and that's to practice self-compassion. In the past, I wouldn't do any of these things. I would really beat myself up hard. But now I remind myself, and I say this all the time, you can't win them all. Not every day needs to be productive, and some days just surviving it is enough. Like yesterday, I told ChatGPT, I just need to get through today. And then at the end of the day, it reminded me of all the little things that I accomplished and succeeded in, even though I was really struggling to get through the day. And I'll tell myself that tomorrow is a new day. And I've learned that having self-compassion is one of the reasons that I'm still sober today, I'm still healing, and I'm still showing up. And something else that I've been showing up for myself so much more is my step number 12, and that is to tune into my spiritual side. Ever since I started meditating more and getting more spiritually in tune with myself and my intuition and my psychic abilities, I've become so much more aware of my energy. And on my low motivation days, I can feel that my vibrations are just off. And meditation will help me ground myself again and bring me back to center. Even though getting myself to just sit or lay down can be really tough. But the more I align with my higher self, the more I'm reminded and remember why I'm doing this in the first place. And I want to build a life that I love and that a future partner will complement, not complete. Happy with where I am, but I know that becoming the best version of myself will attract the right people and things into my life. And in becoming the best version of myself, I've had to learn my patterns, which is step number 13. So one of the most powerful things I've learned to recognize is my patterns before they pull me under. I've noticed that when I go a few days without moving my body or connecting with others or taking time to journal, the fog will start to creep in. So now when I start to feel that sense of numbness and boredom, I'll ask myself, have I been ignoring something that I need? Sometimes it's hydration, sometimes I'm just overstimulating myself, sometimes it's just I need to cry, hi baby, and sometimes I need to fuel myself with better food or move my body. But learning to check in with myself, and ChatGPT has been reminding me of this too. This video wasn't meant for me to bring up ChatGPT a bunch of times, by the way. It's just kind of been happening, but it has helped with me learning my patterns too, and help me stop the spiral before the spiral takes over. And my last tip is to use visual cues. I've spoken about this on my channel before in a video that I'll link right up here. I have a whiteboard and I'll use color-coded markers to write down my tasks and to-do list, and I will write the date every single day with the color I'm using for that day. So when I see it all laid out, I can see how long I've been putting off certain things and keep me grounded and motivated in a productive way, not in a way to beat myself up when things are being put off for too long. And I also have my 2025 bingo card as one of my lock screens because it changes every time I open my phone. It makes it feel a lot less overwhelming just to kind of see it there. And every time I check something off, it gives me a little bit of a dopamine boost. So if you're in a space right now where everything feels like too much, I see you. I've been there. So just start with one thing. Even if it's just drinking a glass of water or opening a window. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to care about yourself enough to try. So I hope this video gave you guys some ideas or at least some comfort. If you're in a funk, you don't need to fix yourself. You just need to love yourself enough to try one thing and go one small step. Promise yourself one tiny act of care. Then check in. How did it make you feel? And comment it down below. Even if nothing instantly changes, I promise over time it will, because you will never regret showing up for yourself. I made this video not because I have it all figured out, because I absolutely don't, but because I know what it feels like to lay in bed and just not want to do anything and not do anything and wonder if I'll ever feel like myself again or if this is just the way I'm gonna be. So the tools I've shared today are how I've learned to gently guide myself home one step at a time. So let's talk in the comments down below. What's one small thing that you do when you feel unmotivated, and what's one small step that you're going to try adding to it today? Remember, you are not behind, you're just a different seed. You are not broken, and you are doing so much better than you think. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and give yourself some credit because you've earned it. Bye!